Hey everyone, it's Andrew here from AppleInsider. Today we are talking about this. This is the new Galaxy S20 Plus. It's Samsung's new line of smartphones. There's the S20, S20 Plus, and the S20 Ultra. We're basically going to be doing a comparison right now between the S20 line and the iPhone 11 Pro line. That includes the iPhone 11 Pro as well as the iPhone 11 Pro Max, because they're effectively the same handset other than just the display size. So we're going to be going through a few ways that the iPhone wins over the Galaxy S20, S20 Plus, and a few ways that it doesn't. So starting off with the ways that the iPhone is able to best Samsung's latest phone. Starting off with Face ID. Now, Face ID is using the True Depth camera system on the front of the phone. It's actually multiple cameras that's able to capture a 3D model of your face and use that to compare. It's far more accurate than a 2D facial recognition system, like what we see over here on the S20, and it's by far more secure than any fingerprint reader out there, whether in-screen fingerprint readers or the old Touch IDs of previous generations. Another way that the iPhone 11 Pro is able to win out is Apple's U1 chip. This ultra-wideband chip is not being really utilized all that much, but it's great for kind of identifying things in their placement. So right now Apple's using it for airdrop, so you can basically point it at somebody else when you're airdropping and it'll automatically bring their device to the top of the list. It's pretty handy. Of course, that only works on other U1 capable devices, but what we should see soon is Apple's Apple Tags, which are essentially tile-like devices that allow you to find things. It's far more accurate than just using Bluetooth, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more utilization of that U1 chip as time goes on, and the iPhone 11 Pros already have them locked and loaded. When it comes to performance, Samsung pulled out all the stops. On the S20 Plus here, we have a 8-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 processor. It is an absolute beast. And when we ran our usual Geekbench 5 testing, we got a 920 single core and a 3265 multi-core score. Well, funny thing is, Apple's iPhone 11 Pro here came out many months before. It is running at Apple's 6-core 813 Bionic processor. And when we ran Geekbench 5 on Apple's handset, we got a single core score of 1341 and a multi-core score of 3525. Easily besting both of the scores that we saw over here on the Galaxy S20 Plus. Just goes to show you how Apple's way pays off by designing everything from the software to the hardware to the chipsets themselves. They're able to design everything in tandem and get the most out of their hardware. Only 6 cores, and yet it's beating easily the 8-core Snapdragon processor. The next way the iPhone's able to win out is with the dual SIM feature. The iPhone 11 Pro has 2 SIM cards, a virtual SIM card and then a physical SIM card. It is great because you can just sign up for that virtual SIM card anytime using apps through the App Store, or when you go somewhere you can pop in an additional SIM card and you have 2 that you can rock with at the same time. It's really handy, especially for travelers or those who want to rock a work phone and a personal phone all on the same handset. Fortunately, you don't have dual SIMs over here on the S20 Plus. Now let's talk a moment about cameras. So the iPhone 11 Pro has the True Depth camera system. We already talked about it, it what enables Face ID, but it does more than that. It's also what captures front-facing photos, selfies. Now there's a lot of stuff Apple like to tout here. There's slow feeds and the high resolution video, all that fun stuff that front-facing camera can capture. But specifically, and when we talk about how it beats out the Galaxy line, it's a higher resolution. It's actually a 12 megapixel camera instead of only a 10 megapixel camera. Now, just in general, photos look a lot better. It looks like it's a slightly wider POV than we have over on the Galaxy S20 Plus, and just generally better photos. Looking at a couple of these portrait mode shots I took, it easily looks better in higher resolution over on the iPhone than it does on the Galaxy. I also want to talk about night mode. Now, both cameras have night mode or bright side or whatever they call it on the Android line, but we took a lot of night mode photos, especially as we're doing our camera test, our dedicated camera test. Check those out, by the way, if you haven't already. But as far as dedicated camera tests go, we've been checking out all these different things, and the one way that the iPhone handily won out was with night mode. Oh my gosh, are these photos better. So there are a couple of different versions of night mode. You can hold the phones in your hand and it kind of knows that you're moving it just a little bit. It'll limit the shutter speed because how long you're keeping that shutter open. If it goes for a 30-second shutter and your hand is jiggling, it's going to be a terrible photo. So if you're handheld, it'll limit how long the shutter stays open versus when you have it on a tripod, it can hold it open even longer. It's like 27 seconds on the Galaxy and 30 seconds on the iPhone. And we did a lot of comparison shots in both handheld And on the tripod, the iPhone's night mode photos were far better. Check out some of these sample shots that we recently featured, and it just looks so much better on the iPhone than it did on the Galaxy line. So if we're looking at the cameras, even though there's some perks here we're going to talk about when it comes to the Galaxy S20, the iPhone easily won when it comes to night mode. Now let's look at some of the ways that the Galaxy S20 Plus wins out over the iPhone 11 Pro and the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Starting off with the camera. So the camera on here is pretty fantastic. Both of them have great cameras, we're not gonna lie. But the one where the Galaxy here wins out is with that 64 megapixel telelens. You can get up to 30x photos here using that new telelens. Now, when you're zooming in at 30x, not everything is gonna be perfect. They're still not gonna be as clear when you're shooting from further back, wider back, but you can't even get close to that. On the iPhone, you can only get 10x without having to go into third-party apps or something to zoom in even further. You're not getting that. Just between the 64 megapixels on the software, you can get amazing 30 times zoom photos using the Galaxy, and the iPhone just doesn't even come close to that. Next, let's talk about those displays. Again, both displays are gorgeous, but one of them wins out. Now, they all have different things they like to tout. Apple has some incredible brightness on their Super Retina display. XDR looks great. You have HDR10 plus support over here on the Galaxy line, and of course, it's a huge display. I mean, this is the 10 or the 11 Pro versus the 20 Plus, and then the iPhone 11 Pro Max is still bigger, but not as big as this guy. So there's a difference between screen sizes. But what we want to talk about is the pixel density. Samsung is able to boast a pixel density of 525 versus Apple's 458. So if you're looking for the closeness and the best looking pixels, you're gonna notice them far less over here on the Galaxy S20 Plus than you are on the iPhone 11 Pro or 11 Pro Max. One feature that I wish Apple would steal, and if rumors were true, it sounds like they were pretty close to doing it, is bilateral wireless charging. I think this is absolutely amazing and is perfect to accompany other devices like maybe an Apple Watch or a set of AirPods. So bilateral wireless charging. It just takes the back of your phone and turns it into a wireless charger wherever you are. You can have two different phones on top of each other and charge one phone off the other, or you can charge a set of headphones, and if rumors again were true, Apple was reportedly going to be able to let you charge your Apple Watch just through the back of your iPhone. Imagine being out in the town, your watch says you got 10% left, but you still got plenty of juice left in your iPhone. Set it on the back while you're sitting there for a few minutes, top it off a little bit, just a little bit more juice to get through the night, and you're good to go. I love this feature, and I'm so disappointed that Apple didn't do it, but you do have it on the S20 Plus, the other S20 line. So bilateral wireless charging, something I really hope we see in a future version of the iPhone. Another feature that we have on the S20 line, the S20 Plus, is 5G. You can use 5G networks over here on the S20, and we still don't have that on the iPhone. We're still limited to just LTE. Now, again, rumors. It sounds like the newest iPhone that's launching later this year will have 5G. If that is true, this will make these a little bit closer in comparison. But 5G, you can't get it in the iPhone, so if you want to have 5G right now, you're in a city that supports it, definitely check out the S20 Plus. Finally, the last way that we see the Galaxy S20 Plus beating out the iPhone is with 8K video recording. You can capture 8K video with the S20 Plus, and while you're recording, you can also take out stills. So while recording in HK, or if you have an 8K video, you can save a 33 megapixel still from that video. It's pretty amazing. There's not a lot of places to play 8K video back yet, but it is nice to have. You can crop in on that if you want to get a little bit closer, and you're still going to be at 4K resolution. So 8K video, it's going to eat up a lot of storage. Luckily, there's external storage support on the Galaxy line, but 8K video is something I'd like to see eventually coming over to the iPhone. I'm sure we will, just a matter of time. But if you're huge in shooting video, 8K video is what it's about over on the S20 Plus. So what do you guys think? There are 5 ways that the Galaxy S20 Plus beats out the iPhone 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max, and 6 ways that the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max beat out the S20 Plus. Do you have any other things that you see bigger or smaller for either compartment? One thing that we didn't really get into with the iPhone, because it's kind of on the software side of things, but the whole ecosystem. This is a huge benefit for Apple. Everything working together between your Apple Watch, your AirPods, your Apple TV, your Mac, just the way they all kind of talk to one another and do so many things. You're never gonna be able to replicate that over on the Android side. So while we're just kind of focusing on a few in the list, there's so much more to explore. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts if you see benefits one way or the other. Let me know on Twitter and we can actually talk about it at Andrew_OSU. Hey everyone, did you guys like that video? Be sure to click on that like button so we can create content that we know that you guys want to see. And follow AppleInsider on all social media channels. If you want the best prices on any Apple gear, check out the Apple Insider Price Guide that is updated daily. And until next time, we'll see you later.